NFL Week 17 picks and preview here from Beef Up Front. Happy holidays, Christmas edition. We got the Christmas Day slate, 3 games, but usually when we get these holiday games, Kevin, we like to touch on all of them, but due to some injuries and some teams not living up to the hype or expectations, this is a pretty flat kind of slate here on Christmas Day. So no games actually that we're going to touch on Christmas Day, but we got a couple on Saturday that we're going to touch on, and then a bunch of important games on Sunday as well. Eagles, Bills, a lot of people pegged that as a potential Super Bowl matchup in the preseason. Those guys will match up on Sunday. Saturday night, you have Packers, Ravens. That's another one. A lot of people pegged as a Super Bowl matchup. But with 2 weeks ago, a lot of the playoff spots already locked up. I think there's 4 playoff spots still on the line. The NFC South champ, I think it's, and then the other 3, I think, are the AFC East champ overall, the AFC North champ, and then one final AFC wildcard champ as well. So a lot of important games over these next few days. We got 3 on Thursday for Christmas. We got 2 on Saturday, and then we got a full slate Sunday and your last Monday Night Football game. So a lot of important ball this weekend, Kev. Happy holidays, and how are we?
Yeah, great. Every week, the playoff picture is getting clearer and clearer. So I expect at the end of this week, we'll have a pretty good idea of who's going to be in, who's out, and then obviously working out seeding as well.
Yeah, we got still some things to iron out, but after last night's big Monday night win with the 49ers over the Colts, the Niners now actually control their destiny to the 1 seed potentially if they win out. Texans Chargers this Saturday is a big one. So we'll start off with that one as well, with the Texans at 10-5 at the Chargers, who are 11-4. 4:30 kick on NFL Network. Chargers 1.5 point favorite, over under 39.5. By virtue of the Colts losing last night, the Chargers actually locked up a playoff spot. The Texans are still fighting for one, so a very important game for them. But the Chargers, too, in the running for the AFC West as well. Any chance that they pull this one off at home here, Kev?
I'm going no. I'm saying Texans win this one on the road, 23-21. So Texans plus 1.5, over 39.5. I really like the Texans defense a lot. They have allowed the second fewest yards and lowest EPA per play, while also allowing the fewest points per game in the league. They're also second in the league in turnover differential, which is just a huge thing. We know how much the turnover differential decides games, who wins, who loses. And then they are also first in pass rush win rate and second in run stop win rate. And I also just don't completely trust the Chargers offensive line to hold up against this Texans defense. They had another lineman go down last week against the Cowboys. They have now started or had 6 different linemen take snaps at left tackle this season. And that doesn't even count their all-pro left tackle, Rashawn Slater, who went down in training camp. So 7 people that they have penciled in at left tackle there. And the line has really struggled all year, which does make it even more impressive what Justin Herbert and the offense is doing this year. I just think it may be too much for them this week against this stout Texans defense. And then the Texans offense has also started playing a lot better as of late. Before Stroud's concussion, the Texans were averaging 21 points per game. But since he's come back, they've been managing 26 points a game, almost a touchdown difference with him coming back after that injury. And then with the defense, they have 26 a game. I think if they're able to score that 26, they're probably going to get a W in most games.
Yeah, this is a rematch from last year's playoff matchup, and having a little PTSD kind of looking at that game with how Herbert played in that one. After taking care of the ball so well in the regular season, he threw a bunch of picks in that game. The Texans kind of have his number. This is a game that we could see match up in the playoffs as well. So lot at stake, I think, in this one. But I do give the Chargers a lot of credit. They're a team that's faced a lot of injuries. Remind me a lot of the 49ers out of the NFC, where they've suffered a lot of injuries this year, but great coaching staff. The quarterback has played well, whether it was Mac Jones or Brock Purdy. Justin Herbert obviously has played great this season, and he's been really banged up and has had a really bad offensive line in front of him. But they've just found ways to plug away and win game after game. And here they are. Are we buying them as a legitimate AFC threat? I don't know. I think it's still a little bit too much to overcome against maybe some of those upper echelon teams. But, without the Chiefs and potentially without the Ravens, like maybe this is a year that the Chargers can make a run. But the Texans too, some people say like arguably the best unit in the NFL, regardless of side of the ball, is that Texans defense. Do they have Justin Herbert's number? Are they able to cause a couple more turnovers? I think so. I think that might be the difference in this one. The Chargers might be due for a little bit of a slip up. And Chargers, too, clinch that playoff berth already. This game means a little bit more to the Texans because if they lose, they could be on the outside looking in. So I'm going to go with the Texans to win here on the road, 23-21. I will take the Texans plus 1.5 and we'll go over 39.5 there. All right, we go to Saturday night now. A lot of unknowns in this game. The Ravens at 7-8 travel to the Packers 9-5-1, 8:00 kick on Peacock. Packers 2.5-point favorite, over under 40.5. Lamar Jackson leaves the game on Sunday night. Snoop Huntley has to come in. Jordan Love leaves the game on Saturday night. Malik Willis has to come in. Do we get a matchup of backups in this one? Both teams are playing for their playoff lives still. I think if the Lions lose on Christmas Day and the Packers win this game, they are in. The Packers might be in regardless if the Lions lose. So this game might not mean as much to them. But the NFC North is still up for grabs potentially. The Ravens, they lose this game, they're officially eliminated from the playoffs, and the Pittsburgh Steelers will go. So a lot on the line still in this one, Kev. Who do you like here?
Yeah, I like the Packers winning this one 20-17. So Packers minus 2.5, under 40.5. Both quarterbacks currently questionable. Love with a concussion, Lamar with a back injury. That's also in addition to all the weird things Lamar has had all year. He's had knee, ankle. We've never really truly found out what's going on with him, but all year everyone's been saying he just doesn't look the same. Just weird vibes completely going around the Ravens. There's a lot of rumors about Harbaugh potentially this being his last year there. And then I just don't really know what to make of the Packers either completely. I do think with Malik Willis, if he is the starter here, which I think it probably will be, I think Matt LaFleur really knows how to win with him. Malik Willis has shown that he's able to win in big games when he replaces Jordan Love, winning a couple games last year and then just playing well in the chances he's been given this year. And like I said, the Ravens team, it just seems weird. I don't know really what to make of them. Not that I have a really good beat on the Packers either, but the Ravens have an NFL worst 5-10 against the spread. I don't have a super ton on this game other than the fact that I think the Packers do eke out a win. They are at home here, and then with the win, they end up clinching a playoff spot.
Yeah, this is a one that we were talking about where a lot of unknowns going on right now with both these teams. But I agree with you. Like the Packers, I mean, I definitely think they're better with Jordan Love in the mix. But at the same time, like Malik Willis plays pretty well with LaFleur, and the guys on Part of My Take we're talking about. But like Matt LaFleur might even call a better game with Malik Willis. And Emmanuel Wilson is really emerging as a nice piece in the running game to go alongside Josh Jacobs. If Jordan Love is forced to miss this game, I do expect if the Lions were to lose this one on Thursday to the Vikings, that we see Malik Willis regardless. Malik Willis could start regardless in this one, but they might push for Jordan Love a little bit more if this game turns into needed to be a must win. But I'm with you. The Ravens the vibes have been off all year. There's a couple of games where you're like, all right, maybe they're finally starting to take it around or turn things around, change things, and they're able to figure it out. But it just hasn't been like that all year. And look at the Steelers on the other side. They've been playing a lot better here down the stretch. So I think even if those two teams were to match up next week for a winner-take-all, I would still probably lean the Steelers. That one would be in Pittsburgh. I think this is the game here where the Ravens season dies. It's just one of the situations, kind of like with the Chiefs, where just never were really able to fully get it going this year. I like the Packers to get this one done at home, regardless if Jordan Love or Malik Willis starts or not. I'll take them 23-17. So Packers minus 2.5, under 40.5. All right, we'll go to Sunday now. The Seahawks at 12-3, currently in first place in the NFC West and the first place spot in the NFC after that crazy win on Thursday Night Football. They'll travel to Carolina to play the 8-7 Panthers, who are also in first place in their division in the NFC South. 1:00 kick here on CBS. Seahawks 7.5-point favorite though, over under 42.5, making that cross country trip.
Yeah, I'm going Seahawks winning, but not covering. Seahawks 24, Panthers 21. So Panthers plus 7.5, over 42.5. I don't believe in the Panthers, but they do keep proving me and a lot of people wrong. But the Seahawks just feel like one of the best teams in the NFL. They currently hold the 1 seed in the NFC, and they control their destiny there. If they win out, they'll definitely be the 1 seed in the NFC. I like the Seahawks a lot because they're just a super well-rounded team. There isn't really a glaring weakness. The biggest question surrounding the team all year was, would Sam Darnold crumble in a big game? And he kind of answered the bell last week against the Rams in that regard, leading them to victory there. And the Seahawks are also coming off a little bit of a mini bye, having played on Thursday. And I do think Sam Darnold's going to be able to take care of the ball, and the offense is going to be able to put up points against a pretty average Carolina defense, in my opinion. The Carolina defense allows the 9th most yards and the 8th highest EPA per play. And then the Seahawks defense, I think, is going to be able to limit the Carolina offense as they're near the top of the league on third down and in the red zone. I'm not completely sold on Bryce Young being able to go up against an elite defense like the Seahawks defense. So I think the Seahawks win another game here.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks to pull this one out too and win it outright. But the Panthers have been a team that they're frisky. They win these games that they're written off for. 7.5 is a lot of points, especially considering that crazy game the Seahawks were just in. Now you got to go cross country to play this Panthers team. And there's still a lot of pressure on the Seahawks in the spot. Like, you could definitely argue that they shouldn't have won that game. Kind of everything down the stretch there fell in their favor and helped them get that win. And the Panthers, like it or not, they've been playing some pretty good football against the upper competition. They've more so struggled against inferior competition, but when their kind of backs are against the wall, that's where this Panthers team has really shown up the most. So I think 7.5 is a lot. I like the Panthers to be able to keep it within that, but I will take the Seahawks win. I really like the over in this one, though. The Seahawks defense has been really good this year, and they're an opportunistic unit. I think they cause some havoc, cause some turnovers, but they've been giving up some points recently, and this Panthers team, I think they're able to go out there and score. I like that young talent with Bryce Young, Tet, Rico Dowdle. They can put up some points too. So being a little spunky here at home, I like them to win this one.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I'm looking for 1503 from Aqua.
No, that's not us.
It's 1501.
One.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Is there 1503? Because I see 1501, I see 1505.
I'm not sure. I just moved in here. Thank you. Sorry about that. We had a waterman come in for that one, but all right, we'll go to the AFC South now. Jags 11-4 at the Colts 8-6. 1:00 kick on Fox. Jags a 7-point favorite here. Over under is 46.5.
Yeah, I'm going Jags winning pretty big here, 31-17. So Jags -7, over 46.5. 46.5. The Colts are done, I think, and apparently the Jags may just be getting started. I did not give the Jags much of a chance last week against the Broncos. I did not believe in Trevor Lawrence, and I was wrong. He went into Mile High and just absolutely dominated the Broncos. Trevor Lawrence, he had another great game, 3 TDs with another rushing one against what many people consider to be one of the top defenses in the league. And then with Phillip Rivers at QB for the Colts, he actually played pretty well last night on Monday Night Football. I don't know if the passing attack really scares me, so you would naturally think they'd rely on Jonathan Taylor more. And Jonathan Taylor started off the year extremely hot, but he's kind of really cooled off over the past couple of weeks. Over the past 5 weeks, he hasn't passed 87 yards on the ground, and his yards per attempt has dropped to 3.5. That compared to the first 10 weeks of the season, he was averaging over 6 yards a carry and was over 100 yards in half of those games. Taylor's struggles may continue here as the Jags defense has been dominant against the run this year. They're allowing only 87 yards a game on the ground, which is best in the league. So I think the Jags stay hot here, and the Colts season just continues to get worse and worse.
Yeah, real shame the way that the Colts season has ended. Even last night, though, give them credit. I think they still were out there fighting in that circumstance. I know the defense gave up a lot of points, but real story of a tale of, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I think we've seen that with the Colts perfectly. Like Jonathan Taylor, how well he was playing at the beginning of the year, he's really fallen off. It's kind of a demoralizing end of the season here for this Colts team. And you touched on it. The Jags they're rolling. Trevor Lawrence playing the best football of his career by far. Liam Cohen, I think definitely should be right there in the mix for the coach of the year. He's really kind of reinvigorated Travis Etienne's career. Jacoby Myers has been a great addition since coming over. Brenton Strange has been a nice tight end. They don't really have that many like big name superstar talents, but Liam Cohen's been able to get the most out of them. The defense can make some plays too. And for any offense that can go 2 mile high, like you touched on, and win that game, that's a big thing. That's a major advantage and I guess kind of momentum builder, I think, going into the playoffs for this Jags team. So I like them to go to Indy and definitely take care of business here. And I think we get some points in this one as well. Give me Jags 30, Colts 20, Jags -7 over 46.5. All right, Sunday now. Eagles 10-5 at Bills 11-4, 425 kick on Fox. Bills 2.5-point favorite, over under 44.5. I don't know if the regular season has gone necessarily to plan for either of these teams so far. I think when the NFL scheduled this, they were probably thinking like, all right, maybe both these teams have like 2 losses or 3 losses headed into this game. They're the 1 seeds, and maybe it's a potential rematch in the Super Bowl just a few weeks down the line. But Eagles clinched the AFC or the NFC East last week. The Bills, they clinched a playoff spot, but I think they're going to need some help here by the Patriots down the stretch to win the AFC East. But so this is a big matchup. I don't know how big though, because the Eagles, I think, maybe sit a little some of these guys that are potentially banged up. You see maybe the Bills keep a couple guys out, because I think for the most part, these two teams are kind of settled into their spots. It's going to take some craziness for the Eagles to get up to the 2 seed, and for the Bills to win the AFC East is going to be tough. They're going to have to go on the road most likely regardless in the playoffs. So don't know exactly how much we see from both these teams in this game, but I think anytime 2 championship caliber teams are going out there to play in this one, you're gonna see them try and put their best foot forward, but we might see some guys sit and maybe some more vanilla game plans here. But 425 kick on Fox, Bills 2.5-point favorite, over under 44.5.
Yeah, I agreed. Kind of a weird game with the implications. Not a ton on the line for either team, but I'm going Bills winning 27-23. Bills -2.5 over 44.5. I don't think the Eagles offense has shown me enough this year to feel confident that they can go into Buffalo and match Josh Allen point for point. This Bills team, I don't think is as talented as ones in previous years, but Josh Allen is still Josh Allen. He's the reigning MVP. He's shown multiple times this year that he's still that guy. He can take over a game and pretty much single-handedly lead the Bills to victory, and they can just score points. James Cook has also been great for the Bills again this year, the running back. And the Eagles offense was not able to do much against the Commanders last week until third string QB Josh Johnson came into the game. The offense ranked in the bottom third of most metrics coming into last week's game. With that being said, the Eagles defense is very good, and I think they'll keep them in this game. Overall, I just don't see the offense being able to do enough to win the game. After winning the division and the 1 seed pretty much being out of reach, as well as probably the 2 seed, I could see this as a little bit of a letdown spot for the Eagles as well. I think the big picture for the Eagles and the Bills as well for both teams is just health. It's a big concern for the Eagles right now, getting everyone back healthy, making sure no one else gets injured. So ultimately, I think that's the biggest thing that should be the main concern for both of these teams coming into and leaving this game.
Yeah, Josh Allen getting a little bit banged up last week. Nakobe Dean left for the Eagles. Jalen Carter, Lane Johnson have both been out. Sounds like they both might return this week. And Nakobe Dean, it sounds like he's going to be fine too. But anything kind of acts up, flares up, I think we see both these teams kind of err on the side of caution. At this stage of the season, it might just be the best bet to just go to the playoffs and try and get there fully healthy. Take your chances and say, you know what, if I'm the Bills with Josh Allen, I got the best player in the AFC. Let's make the most out of that. And then with the Eagles, let's get this team fully healthy. They've been there, they've done that, they've made playoff runs before. We know what this team's built up. Let's not risk anything. We know how good We know how important Lane Johnson is to this team. If Jalen Carter is able to come back with the way that Moro Ojomo and Jordan Davis have been playing, hell, even Brandon Graham have been playing, that makes that defensive line even tougher. I would definitely prioritize health, but getting these guys kind of back into game shape too, can be a good argument. I think the passing game has definitely been looking better. The running game is looking better for the Eagles. So I think some confidence is starting to building. Do you want to ruin that? Do you want to ruin kind of the momentum that they might have going into the playoffs? Those are all discussions that are being held internally, I assume, that we don't know. So I'm just going to err on the side of caution here and go with the home team. I think we see a fun game. I think we see both these teams go out there and compete. But I'm going to go with the Bills 30, Eagles 27, Bills minus 2.5, over 44.5. A lot of unknowns for this one. It's a little bit disappointing that the game's not a little bit more meaningful because I think it could have been one of the best of the NFL season. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see these teams meet up in February in a few weeks. So I'm going to go Bills 30, Eagles 27, Bills minus 2.5, over 44.5. And our final game of the week, we go to Sunday Night Football, an awesome one. And I don't know if at the beginning of the season that the Sunday Night Football broadcast team or the NFL would have thought that this game would have been this high stakes, but the Bears at 11-4 at the 49ers. We're also 11-4, 8:20 kicks, Sunday Night Football on NBC. Niners, 2.5-point favorite, over under 50.5. Their offense has been humming recently. Brock Purdy, 5 touchdowns last night. Bears with the crazy comeback again on Saturday night against the Packers. Caleb Williams, one of the best passes that we've seen all season. 49ers, they win their last 2 games. They'll get the 1 seed in the NFC. Bears still playing for the NFC North crown themselves.
Yeah, I'm going Bears with it. An upset, close win, 24-23, Bears plus 2.5, under 50.5. Not feeling as confident about this pick after seeing what Brock Purdy did last night on Monday Night Football, throwing for 295 yards and 5 TDs. Purdy has been playing really well as of late. Over the Niners' 5-game winning streak since Purdy came back, he's thrown 13 TDs, 4 picks. He's had a passer rating of 108 and a QBR of 76. And just for context, a passer rating anything over 100, it's pretty great. QBR over 73, pretty great. He's above both of them. But with all that being said, Brock Purdy playing super well. I'm taking the Bears here. I don't really exactly know why, other than this team just seems to be able to find ways to win games no matter what. Caleb Williams just seems to be a completely different quarterback in the fourth quarter with his back up against the wall. And I think it's pretty obvious Ben Johnson has changed the culture, the attitude there in Chicago. And then I think the biggest concern for me with the Niners is their defense. They're a pretty middle of the pack at best in regards to yards allowed, and they have not been generating pressure. They're generating pressure at the lowest rate in the league. Plus, they have the fewest sacks in the league. And Caleb's numbers significantly improve when he's not pressured. And both teams are still in contention for the 1 seed in the NFC. The Niners currently having a 32% chance to win it, with the Bears having a 12% chance. I'm rolling with the Bears to pull the upset on the road here.
Yeah, the Bears are a team that I've really started to buy in on more and more over the last few weeks. But it's also a situation like I saw someone say today, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose their first playoff game or if they go all the way to the Super Bowl. Like I still don't have a large enough sample size of this team, but hell, Ben Johnson, as I said with Liam Cohen, should be right up there for Coach of the Year. That shows you how much really coaching matters in the NFL for these coaches to walk into these 2 franchises that have been Jags definitely dumpster fire. The Bears, I would just say, mediocre, middle of the pack for better part of the last decade or so. Besides those kind of couple of years with Matt Nagy, for him to take him all the way to this 11-4 team and a legit contender in the NFC, the Coach of the Year is going to be a really hard award to give out this year. But both these coaches are deserving with Ben Johnson and Kyle Shanahan for what he's done with all the injuries that they faced this year. This is going to be an exciting game. I think an awesome way to kind of end out this holiday weekend of football. But I'm going to go with the Niners to win. That offense has been humming lately. I think the Bears are a team too. They've caught a lot of breaks this year. That they've won some games where, chaotic fashion down the stretch. And I think this could be one of those games that kind of the ball bounces the other way. So I'm going to ride with the hot hand and Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, everything that team's been doing. I'm going to take them here to win this one at home. I like a lot of points in this one, though. I think we see the over hit. Give me 49ers 28, Bears 24. So Niners minus 2.5, over 50.5. All right, touchdown parlay time. 2 legs each. I'm going to go with RJ Harvey as my 1 leg for the primetime games. He's playing on Christmas night versus the Chiefs, minus 120. Listen, ever since J.K. Dobbins has been out, he's been getting the bulk of the carries, the bulk of the touches out of that backfield, and he's been rewarding Sean Payton. J.K. Dobbins, is a nice player, but him getting hurt might have taken this. Broncos offense at kind of a different level. RJ Harvey's such a versatile weapon. He can score with the pass, with the with his legs on the ground as well. One of the best young running backs, I think, in the league, and going to be a force with Sean Payton for a long time. Minus 120, I like him to score on Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm going Thursday day, 1 o'clock, CeeDee Lamb plus 115 against the Commanders. I think the Cowboys come out and just absolutely rout the Commanders, put up a ton of yards, ton of points, and I think CeeDee gets in.
Yeah, my Sunday afternoon play, I'm going to go with T. Higgins plus 100. Since Joe Burrows came back, T. Higgins has really kind of been his main go-to guy in the lineup. It seems like he scores each and every week. Jamar Chase hasn't really has as much success, and they're playing a Cardinals team that's in kind of full-on quit mode. I think we see this game very similar to what we saw with kind of the Bengals and Dolphins last week. Not much defense and a lot of points.
Yeah, my next pick, I'm going Sunday afternoon, James Cook, minus 110 against the Birds. James Cook and Josh Allen are kind of the whole offense, so I feel very comfortable picking either one of them to score this week.
All right, dog of the day, favorite underdog of the week. I'm going to go Dolphins plus 5.5. Don't really love it, but they're at home against the Buccaneers, who have been reeling over the past month or so. Don't know exactly what's wrong with that squad out there in Tampa Bay. The Dolphins with Quinn Ewers, he's kind of playing for a chance as an NFL quarterback, and he's kind of showcasing, auditioning for next year. Didn't look great in his first game, but I think they can keep it close within this number, within a field goal or something like that. I'll take him there plus the 5.5.
Yeah, I think it's so hard to pick games that are meaningless for both teams, but I picked the Titans last week against the Chiefs. So I'm going to go with them again here. I'm going Titans plus 2.5 at home against the Saints team. The Saints team's actually playing pretty well, so not super confident, but I'm going with the Titans again.
And lock of the week, our favorite bet of the week, I'm going to go Bengals Cardinals over 53.5. I touched on it with my touchdown play with T. Higgins at plus 100, but I think we see a very similar performance to what we saw with the Bengals and the Dolphins last week. Not much defense, a lot of points, Cardinals in full-on quit mode. I think the Bengals kind of go out there, air the ball around the yard. They put up maybe 30-plus themselves. Jacoby Brissett shows that they could put up some points at times, but the defense hasn't been able to really help them out this year. So Bengals Cardinals over 53.5 there is my lock of the week.
Yeah, my lock of the week, I'm going Cowboys minus 6.5 at the Commanders. Josh Johnson probably at QB for the Commanders. This seems just like a classic primetime game that means absolutely nothing, but Dak comes out, lights it up. George Pickens also making final push for a new contract. I think the Cowboys come out and just, like I said, for my touchdown pick, I think they light the Commanders up. A lot of yards, a lot of points in this one.
All right. That'll do it for NFL Week 17 picks and preview. Hard to believe next week, final week of the regular season, but a lot of drama to unfold this week for sure. Set us up for a really nice Week 18, and then we're into the playoffs, what we build towards all season. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Have a happy holidays, everyone. As always, please subscribe, and we'll talk next week.